Walt Disney Company continues to be in the news as CNBC reports of a fallout between former CEO Bob Iger and his successor, current Disney CEO Bob Chapek. A lot of drama going on in this space. So for more on this Disney dilemma, we have Yahoo Finance's Canal. This sounds like almost an episode of The Bachelor or something. I mean, it's a lot of drama going on there over at Disney. Give us the breakdown of exactly what's at stake here. What's going on between the two Bobs?
Yeah, it's really Bob versus Bob here, Brian. And I mean, Disney, it seems to be going through a bit of a PR problem. There's obviously that report from CNBC, and this comes amid employee walkouts that are scheduled for tomorrow over the company's reaction to Florida's controversial Don't Say Gay bill. This bill would ban classroom instruction and conversation about sexual orientation and gender identity in public schools between kindergarten and third grade. And the issue here is that Bob Chapek, current Disney CEO, he pretty much skirted around it and then only publicly denounced it after intense pressure from employees and after it passed through the state Senate. Now, Chapek is a very different leader than Bob Iger. Iger was not afraid to give his opinion on certain political issues. Chapek, on the other hand, he really wanted to distance both himself and the company from that to not cause any further friction between executives and employees. Clearly, that decision backfired. Now, keep in mind that Chapek's contract is up early next year, so this is crunch time when it comes to him making decisions that really solidify him as a leader and cement his role within the company longer term. Obviously, controversies like this do not help this case. You were mentioning that CNBC in-depth report about how there is current friction between Iger and Chapek. According to the outlet, several Disney employees have called Iger to, quote, express their disappointment in Chapek amid the Don't Say Gay bill backlash. There's been other issues when it comes to overall business strategy, how differently these two men operate. Apparently, there was, quote unquote, some awkward in-person interaction. So clearly, the tension is there. It's palpable. And all of that being said, the stock, it's down a little less than 2% right now. So I think investors are still trying to figure out what this means longer term, how this could affect the company in the future. Yahoo Finance did reach out to Disney for comment, but they have not heard back.
Yeah, did not respond. And also worth noting, the New York Times did a lot of legwork in the reporting there as well, which CNBC expanded on. I mean, Allie, I want to ask you just kind of about another news headline that we were seeing about Disney, and that regards their theme parks. Obviously, the COVID outbreak in China, particularly in view because of their zero COVID policy. So it sounds like the Shanghai resort there is going to be closed, I believe, this week. How impactful is that going to be for Disney?
Yeah, I mean, the Shanghai Disney Resort closing today, Monday, until further notice. The resort cited China's rising infections. Now, cases have risen from just 70 earlier this month to over 1,600 as of Saturday. There has been increased lockdowns throughout the region. As you were mentioned, China does have that zero tolerance policy. So lockdowns, shutdowns, further restrictions, that's all commonplace within the area. Now, Disney did say that its theme park division generated record income in fiscal Q1. So that was sort of a good sign at the time that perhaps the worst could be over. But Shanghai Disneyland was the first theme park to close in early 2020. And then we sort of saw the rest follow suit. So, that's certainly something to keep an eye on because the theme park division for Disney is so crucial, so important. In the US, COVID cases, they seem to be under control for now, but there have been new subvariants that are raising some concern that the country could go through another wave. Typically what we see overseas tends to repeat itself in the country here over the next few weeks. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but especially with increased travel, people wanting to get out there. There's been several reports that people just want to live their lives. You never know what could happen with this pandemic. So I'm sure Disney is watching that very closely because, again, the theme park division is something that really drives revenue for the company overall.
Yeah, so important for Disney. Yahoo Finance's Canal. Thanks so much for the breakdown.